All right. What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Oh my gosh. Hey, Audrey. What's up? What's up? All right. We're just letting people in. Sorry for a couple minutes. Just wanted to set up my recording and get it all going. Really excited about today. My goodness me. How's everybody's Friday going? Let's go. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, great to see you, Don. Audrey, yes. Oh, beautiful sunset. So I'm in beautiful North Carolina right now, which I'm pretty pumped about. And yeah, I'm in my RV studio, which is always a fun thing for me. We're out here exploring North Carolina, looking to settle out here in the woods, which I love the woods. But today's session is one of my favorite sessions. It's about social learning inside of the GrowthDay app. Now, I know everybody's probably like, oh, well, I kind of know what social learning is. I kind of know how I can, I know how I can learn inside the app, but what is social learning and what can I do to really accelerate my growth inside of the GrowthDay app and learn with my friends, my new teammates, and potentially new strivers that are joining the app, right? We have all these new people joining every single day. And then they come into the product and their platform. They're like, where do I start? What do I do? I'm going to talk about that today too. And would just love if you just want to pepper the chat with questions. If you have any questions, thoughts, things that you need a little support on or you're trying to learn inside the app, we'll get those questions answered today. And it's going to be a ton of fun. Does that sound good? Sound good? Okay. So I'm going to start with just some kind of top news today for the app too, if you're just getting in here. Now, first off, is there anybody new? I'm seeing pretty familiar faces, but is there anybody new to Growth Day this week? Let us know in the chat because, if you're new, we're going to totally shout you out. We're going to totally celebrate you if you're new. All right. The other thing is we have some really fun new things that have come into the app. So if you're a host, now, if you're hosting a growth group like what we're in today, then which is only for pro strivers or all access strivers, you will have the ability to preview your camera and your audio before you jump into the call, just so you don't have to eat into that 30 minutes or that 60 minutes, which is a pretty nice feature. And also, if you're also looking at the mobile app and you need more space, like sometimes you just need more space. Now, down there by the leave group, don't leave my group, but go down there and look at the leave group button. There's a little button right next to it. And that button allows you to close the sidebar. So if you're not really in the mood for a chat or notes or agenda, or you're in a session, you can close that panel. And then you'll see the agenda if you hover over the top of the agenda, or if you go to the little notes, you'll see the notes icon. And that allows you to take notes. And it's really important to know that if you are taking notes through this chat, or if you're finding new things that you can learn, that you can always go after the session, go to your notes tab up in the very top of your navigation and click notes, and that will take you to your notes kind of repo, your repository, and then you'll see your growth group notes that you've been taking. And if you entered into a challenge, or if you have been taking notes on a live event, like some of Sherry's awesome notes that she shares throughout the live events, you can copy and paste those and you'll see them inside of your notes section. So it's all in one place, which is beautiful. All right. So, and I know that there was a great question from Audrey about, like, will we ever have search and notes? We are very passionate about search. It's a feature that we are investigating and we're researching, and we're actually forming kind of like how might that look and feel in the app. So if you have ideas of things that you would like to search, from your notes, from your journal, from your private stuff to the more external stuff like your courses and the lessons that you have, or even the past live events, we think that's pretty important to search too. So let us know what's most important to you there. We'll keep you informed as those things come out. But hey, every day, right, is a great day to grow. And literally inside the app, the team today, was doing an amazing job. We had a big Friday shout outs. We also were talking about some of the side things that we do, the things that we're really passionate about. And the team did have a really big release yesterday. So if you haven't yet given a app review and you really love the app, then, go to the App Store and give us a review, or post something in the community just so the team knows, like, that maybe you support them or you appreciate what they've been doing, because we've been working really hard. I'm really pumped about everything that they've been doing. So what I want you to do, if you have this window open, if you want to follow along, Command N if you're on a Mac, or Control N if you're on a PC, open up a new browser, and what we're going to first do is look at the challenges. So the first thing about social learning to think about when you think about, okay, well, I want to learn with other people, or maybe I want to learn by myself. But what we've learned through research is that when you're, sharing things that you're learning with other people, and you tend to learn that you might be learning something so similar to this other person that you had no clue. And then because you're both working towards that new learning skill, or that new ambition, or that new project, or whatever it is that you might share, you're going to realize that there's so much more opportunity to learn together. And when you learn together, you can actually learn a lot faster, because some of the things that might take you 2 months to learn, that person that you're maybe learning with, they might have learned it already. They might be able to share their insights. They might be able to share little things that work for them that might work for you, or you might have things that work for you that might work better for them. So that's why social learning is so important, and that's what you can do inside of the challenges. So if you haven't yet checked out our challenges, there's 3 challenges for you right in there, and we have a new challenge that's coming soon, so just stay tuned to that. We'll let you know when that comes out. It's coming soon. But the big important thing to know is, like, we have the clarity challenge, we have the confidence challenge, we have the high five challenge. The high five challenge is with Mel Robbins, and the 2 other challenges that are in the platform are from yours truly, Brendan Burchard. So check those out. They're really awesome. Brendan's just put so much effort into these challenges too, and they're just really good calibrators. So if you're going in and you're like, I need a little recalibration on my confidence, or I need another recalibration on my, like, how I get clarity in my life and how I move through challenges, or how I work through those big challenging things, clarity is a great challenge to go. Now, with the challenges, let's see. I'm just going to quickly check, make sure. Boom. I'm just reading through the comments really quick, just making sure I'm up to speed. And beautiful. Okay, great. Thank you, Sherry. You're amazing, Sherry, by the way. Everybody loves Sherry, and I love you so much. All right, so back to it. The challenges. How are the challenges designed today? Today, all the challenges are 5-day challenges. Now, the reason why we do 5-day challenges is because we're not here just to make you a little bit more productive and successful in your career. We want to like completely help you with transformation. These 5-day challenges are committed 5 days, and throughout those 5 days, you have opportunities to share with the community. You also have opportunities to kind of watch videos in line, journal, comment, like kind of reflect, even journal inside the challenge. That's the way it's super organized in your daily training. There's 5 days. There's a timer, a 24-hour timer, and we do that because we want you to do the work. We want you to go in and challenge yourself to do that. But the great thing about it is, just like you're seeing here inside of growth groups, you have a whole entire notes panel, and you have an entire comments panel. The comments panel is cool because it's all your community. If you post a picture or a comment about something you're working through, then you can actually have that comment show up so everybody else can see it. So if you have learning tips and ideas about things that you did from reflecting and going through the challenge, you can share those insights with your fellow strivers. And that's beautiful social learning. Like, it's helping other people benefit from your insights and reflections. Make sense? Beautiful. All right. Okay, yeah, keep the comments or questions coming if you have them down below. Very cool. All right, the other thing with challenges, right? We talked about the kind of the layout. We have 24-hour time block. We have and if you have this open in another window, I'm not sharing my screen today because I just want to just want to be looking at you, and I want to be hanging out with y'all. And then we'll definitely, because we have a whole hour today, we'll leave at least 15 to 20 minutes to just talk shop, and we'll bring people up to the stage too if you have questions. So think about things that you might want to ask later in the growth group, and then we'll bring you up, and then we can jam together. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. So with challenges, they're 5 days, and then you have a really focused path on that. On the first day, watch a video, learn about it from one of our coaches, and then come in and maybe do a journal or a plan, whatever the task is that we're asking for, and then you complete it. And then you go to the next day, you do the same thing. And the next day you would do things. So plan for 5 days when you do these things, and that's a really fun thing. So challenges is one big pillar of social learning here at Growth Day. The other thing that I think you'll absolutely adore and love is that if you haven't yet had an opportunity to watch the Habit Builder course. The Habit Builder course is kind of like our foundational course inside the whole platform, that if you're going to watch any course in the platform, this is the one that you'll want to watch. It's from the high performance system, and it's also basically breaks down the high performance habits, the 6 high performance habits that are just like the ultimate habits that you want to build. Here, I'm bringing up one of my cards. This one. So the high performance habits, where you have clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, and courage, right? I like having these sheets. I think some of I'm the head of product and design, and I've never stepped away from, my pencil sketches, my drawings. When I'm working out big complex ideas, I typically go to paper. I love the feeling of writing a reflection and putting it on paper. And then the amazing thing with that is I carry that into my teams. I carry that when I'm learning, this is what I'm learning, or this is what I'm doing. And then I have a lot of other cards, which I might show throughout. I have a lot of player cards, a lot of fun things, a lot of reflections, a lot of good stuff. Learning is just what it's all about. So coming back into the courses that we have, the high performance habit builder with those 6 habits, what I want to encourage you to do is to go to the Learn tab and try to find this course. It's also branded as high performance habit builder, and this is going to break down each of these habits. And there's about 6 to 7 videos, at least, I believe 6 to 7 videos for each of those habits. And Brendan goes super deep into those. And when you're doing that, you can actually go into comments or go into your notes and take time-stamped notes for what you're learning and what you're growing in that area. And the cool thing is you can click on those timestamps and it just zaps you right back into that point in the video where you can go and learn those elements. So I think you're all going to love that. If you didn't do that yet, oh my gosh, it's a kind of a power feature inside of notes. And then if you end up taking the notes, you will be able to see those notes in your top note panel, just like what we're talking about today with the app. When you're inside the app and you have your chat, your notes, and agenda, you'll be able to see those notes surface up in your notes panel on the page. So important to see. All right, cool. And with that habit builder series, right, there's comments similar to what you have here, where you have chat right here where you're chatting with everybody. When you see comments, that's kind of like a longer those comments are always going to be on that course. Now here inside the chat's just for this live event. Nobody else is going to be able to see this chat roll that we're talking in here. So if you do see something that you want to copy and you want to kind of save the notes that you might be taking or reading from somebody else, just be sure to copy that line item, paste it into your notes, and then you'll have it forever and it will be stored inside your account. Hope that makes sense. All right, cool. All right, so we talked about challenges, we talked about the courses, and the Habit Builder course is one of my favorite. I think since I've been practicing this high performance lifestyle, the HPX lifestyle, I think for about 3.5 years now. Previously, before I knew about Brendan and the whole ecosystem of high performance lifestyle and high performance experience, I had worked in some of the top tech companies in the industry. I worked at Facebook, which is now Meta. I worked at LinkedIn, which is the social network. I worked at lynda.com. If you've ever heard of lynda.com, lynda.com was like kind of the first online learning library for learning creative tools, business tools, technology tools. And I got the opportunity and the blessing to redesign that entire platform before it was acquired by LinkedIn, and then I went over to the acquisition. But when I was at LinkedIn, I learned a lot about learning, and I learned a lot about the power of, you can learn anything. You can learn it. That was kind of like the slogan, like, you can learn it. And the other one was like, ship it, like, get it out there, release it. And through that process, I think I found so much love in the fact that just being open and honest about the things that you're learning and the things that you're growing in and developing in opens up this whole nother level of awareness that you have when you start to look at the people that you work with, or the people you collaborate with, or the people that you live with as your team. And this team is all trying to advance some important initiative in their life or what they need to do. And when you can start like stepping back and be like, well, let's learn this together. It just changes the game, and it's so much more fun. And it takes all this like kind of pressure or competition out of it when you realize like, no, we're all going to get better. And I think I got a lot of that from my like athletic background. I was a baseball player and I played college baseball, and it's just like, I learned a lot about systems and a lot about like measuring success. And, with measuring success, you just have to have those benchmarks. And that's why we have life scores in this tool too. Brennan was doing research around, the high performance planner, where you can circle the 1 through 5 and do the benchmarks. And, we started seeing like people sharing those things, and we really realized how important life scores were, because you need those daily, weekly, and monthly benchmarks to know how you're doing, how you're performing, what you could be doing better. But I think it's so much better when you can actually share some of those insights and reflections with your family, with your team, with your friends. All right. I'm just going to check the chat really quick to see if it looks like okay. We don't have questions. If you do have questions, you can raise your hand, and that way I can kind of zero in and making sure that you're getting your questions answered. Awesome. All right. So we talked about courses. We talked about the high performance habit builder course. We talked about the notes and where those are accessible. The other big thing about social learning is where we're at right now, growth groups. I love the fact that we have 9 people here today, and it's a Friday afternoon. I mean, it's 2:49 for me, and I just love this time because this is a great time to be able to reflect about like, what did we accomplish this week? What do we do? And how did we show up for our friends, our family, our teammates? But also, all right, let's capture those wins. Let's capture what we did and plan on how we can do it better for the following week. Now, I know that me sharing my Friday finishers or my Friday updates and the things are pretty, it's helpful for me. But one thing that I do every single week that I wanted to share with you is I do this status update. Now, I know that everybody in the world probably has a version of their status updates. And the status updates that I really love to do is I open up a Google Doc, and inside that Google Doc, I have a list of every week, basically from the entire year of 2021, 2022, and when 2023 hits, I'll have another doc. And what I've been doing is I have been capturing, these 5 key prompts that I ask myself every week. And just like to give you a little bit of an idea about some of those, it's like, what did you learn or accomplish this week? And I think the same thing that you can do inside of the GrowthDay app with the weekly journal reflection. If you go into that weekly summary, it asks you these like really incredible questions. And doing that every week and storing that is pretty cool, because you can actually go back and filter by that prompt type inside of your journal. In the bottom area, because you can see all your journal, like the history of those things. You can filter those things, and you can actually see how your weekly reflections were going. And it's like, if you missed a week, don't sweat it. Like just try to do them on a consistent basis. That way you don't get so detached from maybe like what you're doing throughout your weeks and months and years. It's just like another way of having an increased amount of awareness, which that awareness is what will lead to your next learning insight, your next growth moment. And then maybe it might even introduce you to your next best friend, your next best teammate, the next best, like, could be a partner, it could be anything, but you just never know unless you really are more open about, like, oh, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm learning, this is what I'm growing, and this is what I'm shipping, or this is what I'm learning this week. So, love that. Oh, yeah. So I know Audrey just mentioned, like, it's a way of thinking about, she loves badges when you complete the scores of the journal. Like, I love the badges too. And if you didn't know, in your growth profile, if you click your avatar in the very top right of the app, you will see your profile. You go to your profile and you scroll down, or you click the little growth coins at the very top. That will link you directly to your achievements inside of the GrowthDay app. And right now, you can see what your achievements are about the certificates completion you finished, your life score streaks, your journal streaks, and any other badges that you earned from doing the challenges. And you can take challenges like over and over and over and over. And if you do that, you will notice that there's like a bronze, a gold, and a bronze, silver, and gold, which are different calculations of how many tasks you complete in the challenges. And we did do some gamification there just to help motivate you, and also know that, even if you start out and you complete 5 tasks out of the 22, maybe the next time you can do 10, and maybe the next time you can do 22 of those things. And just knowing that we can always have a little bit of improvement there. So definitely, like, celebrate yourself 100%. All right. So I know that we're doing really good on time. We talked about all these really fun things. The other big thing that is kind of like a sleeper to a certain degree is that because there's so much opportunity and impact in the product, but sometimes, knowing what you should be doing and knowing how to get the most out of it is sometimes a challenging thing, because there's 6 pillars, and inside these 6 pillars, you get to decide how you're going to spend your time. And obviously, we don't want you to come into the product and waste time. We want you to be more productive. We want you to be more successful. We want you to be more reflective. We want you to take more meaningful pursuits, or join things. We want you to, like, just completely blossom while you're here. There's a beautiful tab down the very bottom left of the app. It's called Your Community. Now, your community is a way for you to engage, comment, a message, direct message, and just get to know what's happening in the community. Now, the community doesn't have to be for everyone, but if you're trying to find your community, the best way to do that is to post about what you're learning. Post about what you're trying out, what you're exploring. Maybe post about a new company that you started, or post about something that you were learning in one of the courses that you think another person could benefit from. Share your links, share your insights, share your reflections, contribute to the community. That's a good way of, like, kind of building the rapport with your fellow strivers. And I think those are important ways to, feel connected. If you feel like, you don't have like a growth unit, what our responsibility is as a product and design organization, and also, working at GrowthDay, we want to help you blossom. We want to help encourage you. So we're going to do our best to support you on those ventures or adventures that you take while you're a striver here on GrowthDay, which we're really grateful that you're here. And I just really appreciate y'all so much. It's just a really huge blessing. So big time question. All right. So we got a question. I love questions. All right. Is it okay to celebrate achievements, something like a project coming out to life, like a book, for instance? I think it's perfectly okay. You've been planning to write a book, and you're going to talk about it, and you're going to share it on the platform. I think it's a great thing. Share what you learned from writing that book. Share, something that really lifted you up during that thing. I think it's a beautiful thing to share. Oh yeah, so Teresa, if you want to host a group, if you're a pro, you get like 10 free for the first month. But if you want to continue hosting sessions, there is a fee for this inside, and you'll see notifications for that, because we have to pay to play sort of the environment. Like we have a video platform here, so we have those offers inside the plan. So I'd encourage you to try them out. And then if you want to try it out, you can always like pause it or cancel it if you don't want to continue doing it, but give it a shot. It's so much fun hosting, and you will find yourself like getting to meet a lot of other people and creating a lot more just of these types of conversations, which is super fun. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, cool. So I know that we have like about 34 minutes left. I would love to know what you're really wanting to learn inside of the GrowthDay app. What are some things that if you knew, or if you could get a little bit better at inside the tool, you would feel a lot more confident using it? Or, you just need a little bit of a coaching moment or a demo of something? Or what are some things that you're really thirsty for right now? I'd love to hear in the chat. If not, then I have some other really fun things I could do, but just wanted to give the opportunity for you to ask anything, or let's just see if there's anything coming up. Go ahead and keep commenting in the chat, and we'll get that going. Yeah. So while you do that, while you think, I'm going to walk you through some of the ways that I like to think about learning and growing inside of the GrowthDay app, right? We talked about all the pillars. We talked about even, the dashboard. We talked about the journal, the life scores, the plan. We demonstrated the challenges a little bit, right? We talked about the courses, and we have community. So many things. Now, the way that I'm going to show you some cards too, so you're going to see some of my sketches and some fun things. Okay. Oh, yeah. So you can, a couple of things that you can do to print the plan right now. You could just go to the plan and do file print, like in the web browser, and it will take a screenshot of what you want to print. You could also take a screenshot of, like literally like a screenshot using Awesome Screenshot, like it's like a web plugin. Or you can also just do Command-Shift-Option-4 on your Mac, or if you're a PC, there's a print button, a print screen. And you can just print that image, and it should take a pretty good solid image of exactly what you want to print. We don't have like a download PDF or a download CSV or a share right now for the plan, but I just encourage you to take a screenshot and just print it out. I've done that. I've done that numerous times actually, and it just works perfectly fine. Oh, Teresa, that is a great idea. I think that would be a really great course to have. Maybe next week I could even just do a really comprehensive breakdown of starting a plan from scratch. But I could also encourage you that just getting started and thinking about your plan as the systems that you want to create in your life would be a really great start. Let me give you an example of this, and this might help other people too. So when you're going through and thinking of a plan, you could just go to your plan and create like, like Teresa, if you have a topic of a plan that you would like to start, you can put it in the chat and I can help talk you through it as more of an example. And including subtasks, I could definitely do that too. So the big thing that I like to think about when I'm starting a new plan, and then I'll show some of the other ways that I learn and some of the other cards that I have here, is I like to think about how often am I going to use this plan? Am I going to use it on a weekly basis, or is this a one and done type of plan? Is this a plan that I need to share with my friends? Is this a plan that I need to, what's the context of the plan? Is it something I need to finish like today, this week, this month? So the first thing going in, before I even start a plan, I'm going to think about like, what am I going to use it? How am I going to use it? Who's going to get to see this? What is the purpose of this plan? And how can I be incredibly efficient with whatever I create, right? Step number one, really good stuff. The second thing that I would do inside that plan is I would think about, well, if it's a recurring plan and this is something that I want to do on a weekly basis, well, I might not put in like 20 items inside that plan that, maybe it's just a lot too much context overload. So I might break down those 20 things into like 5 themes. And I might use that plan, instead of calling it just like my to-do list, I might call it like my action list for, I name it something that's a lot more intentional and special to me. For example, I have like a Monday motivation plan. So every Monday, I know that Mondays are big days for me to set myself up for success for my whole week. Like my whole week is gonna like have momentum, or it's going to kind of be a lot more flat if I don't like set my Mondays up for success. So what needs to go into my Monday plan? I need to make sure that I knock out my daily morning ritual, my workouts, my connection to my intention, my plan for how, like, what are the top 3 priorities and things that I need to do that day. I know that I have a lot of team meetings on Monday, so it's more of like an awareness and clarity and setting a setup day where I'm setting everybody up, but I'm even doing that a week before. Like, I already know what I'm going to be teaching my team on Monday so that they can be prepared to execute that entire week. But I don't want them to have to think about all the other details. I want to be prepared with the things so I can help, so they can just go to town and have fun and create and make things that are beautiful and special inside this product. So I like to think ahead in that sense. So I'd encourage you to think about your themes, think about your routines, think about the systems that you have in your life that you can document and build into your plans inside of Growth Day, and then use those plans as checklists of mental advancements and the things that you know you'll do, and you just go and check them off the list every day, or you can just leave them unchecked. And you just know that these are the things that you're going to do every single day, or you're going to do it on Mondays or Tuesdays or whatever it is. So I would start the intention of thinking about what are the big things that you need to move the needle on, maybe this month, maybe this year, or, you know, maybe over the next like 3 or 4 years. And I know that we also have some really great live events, past replays, where a lot of our coaches give their frameworks for habits and for different ways to look at things. You could even rewatch one of those course or one of those replays, go into your plan. If you're working on your finance or you're working on your productivity, you could go back into your plan and pull out the top, like, 5 to 10 things you learned from the productivity courses, jump back into your plan and just write out those 5 things that you're going to do. And that's your productivity plan. So whenever you feel like you're lacking productivity, you go back into the plan and be like, I need to do this A to Z, and then you go tackle it and get after it. That's another example of how you can kind of tie all these things together, but starting with intention. And if you don't have the intention, you don't really know, then you can jump back in and do journaling. And if you need to kind of like flesh out a lot of your ideas and thinking, you can use the journal to help you navigate those questions, because we have prompts to help you with that. Or you can just have an open forum and just express your thoughts and ideas in your journal, post it, then go back into your plan and start getting into more like action mindset, action oriented. What am I going to do about this? And then how you write those plans is going to be also really important. All right. All right, fantastic. Yeah, I'm with you, Teresa. I think, did any of that stuff that I just mentioned resonate with you around, setting up both work and personal goals? And I think, like, from a personal goals perspective, I really like to think about goals into these 4 categories. And this might help you, but you could also go back in and look at all the coaches, and I'm sure they have recommendations as well. But I like to look at what are my personal goals? What are my passion goals? What are my career goals? And what are my project goals? Project goals are like the things that I'm doing every quarter with my team. The personal goals are like, I'm trying to get super fit this fall, and I also want to prepare to be able to go buy a house. So I want to do some like finance goals inside of that personal side, and I also want to just do some broader planning around that personal side. Then for my passion goals, like, I love content creation. I love teaching the younger generations. Like, I have a 12-year-old son. We homeschool him, so I love teaching him the things that I've learned about design and product building, because he's also kind of jumping into product development and building video games. So I'm trying to use the things that I've learned and sharing it back with him. That's like a passion goal. So breaking down personal, passion, project, and career goals are a good way to kind of get some structure, and that could be, each of those could be a plan, and that could help you kind of break it down. Another way to think about it is just organizing your thoughts. That might be better inside of the journal than inside of a plan, or if you're trying to just break down what are the steps that I need to do, you could use a plan for that as well. Like, you create a big giant ambitious goal that you want. That's the name of your plan. And then inside the plan, the first thing that you do could be like the very first step that you need to take. And then the very last thing, like step number 10, could be, what's the outcome? Like what's the outcome? And then you can fill in the blank, fill in those like 9 other steps with other tasks. And then if you need to break down those tasks even more, you can do subtasks just by clicking on the line item, and then it will give you a sidebar where you can jump in and give a little bit more context. Awesome. Thank you. All right, cool. Well, so we talked about that. If there's no other questions about, we'll keep the questions coming. I'm looking at the chat, and we can make sure that, we talked about planning, getting started with planning, which is great. But remember, like, once you have these plans, a plan is much better if you share it with your teammates, if you share it with your friends, if you share it with your kids, your family, because you could start talking about it. And the whole power of social learning is talking about it and then trying to kind of open up other doors of opportunities from what you're learning, what the insights are, maybe from what you're experiencing, or, maybe somebody that you share it with has some feedback for you. And feedback is a gift, right? So you can also use that and leverage that moving forward. Yeah. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to go through these quick little cards. These are like really fun kind of anchor cards that I'm making. I'm making like a kind of like a playbook, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an insider look into this playbook, because the playbook's really about helping accelerate product and design thinking. Now I'm doing this for my son's school, which is like kind of like Agile Learning Center, but I'm also doing this for a conference that I'm going to speak at in Utah coming up. And I'm really trying to, when we think about like social learning, we think about how we grow together, I think it's so important to just find this foundations, like build the foundations with yourself first. And when you think about like coming into Growth Day and you're using all these tools, like you could have tools all day long. Like tools will always be coming at you. There's so many different things to use, but what's really important is that you have a sense of how you're going to get the most out of them and how you're going to use them, right? Don't let the tool use you. You use the tool to better your life, but don't let the tool use you. I hope that doesn't sound too weird, but that's just one of my recommendations after working with so many tech companies and looking at the tools. And, there's always a lot of buzz around, oh, you should switch to this tool. You should try this tool. Use the tool that works best for you and that helps you accelerate and motivate and encourage you to get the most out of what you need to accomplish, right? I just want to make sure. Oh, yeah. Very, very good stuff. All right, cool. So the first one, look at this. This is such an easy little reflection. I'm going to probably end up coloring a lot of this, but let me grab a pen. The most important thing that I like to think about when, hopefully it focuses. Okay, cool. Now, I know that you or me, we're in this middle thing, right? And we have a lot of things happening in our world and what we're trying to do. So when I think about social learning, or I think about the things that I'm doing, I think about joy and excitement, which is this one right here. Oh, there we go. Joy and excitement. I think about activities and routines. I think about life essentials. Like, what are life essentials? Like things that I need to accomplish, things that I need to work on. I think about my social life. I think about the love that I have in my life. I think about my coworkers, my team, and my businesses and services. I think about wellness and personal development, which is, the whole Growth Day world. And then I think about my friends and my family. So at a core, there's a lot of stuff going on in our lives. And I know that we're all growing and we're all trying to learn things. We're trying to just be better. So think about how do you tap into all these things all the time? How do you tap into them? Because when you do tap into them, how do you keep it organized? Where do you put things? Where do you organize your thoughts, reflections, insights? And I think that's a really great reason why we created Growth Day. You can use these tools to be able to organize and increase your intentionality and increase your awareness about the things that are most important to you. And so Growth Day can actually solve how you organize your thoughts around these things. But hey, guess what? There's so much other things going on around your life. Now, depending on your discipline, depending on what you do for a living, Like whether you're a business owner, you or just getting started in your new career as like say a designer, or you're getting started in your career as a content manager, whatever it may be. How would you break down the top 10 to 12 things that are going to help sustain that career or that passion or that love over the long term, right? It's about consistency over time. That's what like high performance is, right? Consistency over the long term. It's not burnout culture. Brennan talks about all the time. So what are the things that you need to do in your craft, and what are those 10 to 12 things? And you could write them in your notes. You could write them in your journal. You could write them in your plan. Now, for me, I did this for the design and creative industry. So I'm going to share with you just a couple thoughts there. It might just help you think about, well, what would I write for my life and my career and my passions and what I'm trying to do? So here's what it looks like. Now, I know you might not be able to read my handwriting, but the first thing that I always think about is my room preparation, intention, and purpose. So even if I'm like thinking about, okay, yeah, what am I going to do, or how am I going to feel when I go into this room? And it could be any room. How am I going to prepare for that room? This could be any meeting. And then what's the intention and purpose that I'm going to bring into that session or that meeting, right? Thinking about that. Then, rotate this. Then I think about these things. I think about my identity. I think about my purpose. I think about my priorities. I think about my kryptonite, like the things that like just I'm not very good at and I need to improve. I think about my interactions with other people. I think about what success looks like in every outcome that I want. And then I think about my arena. Now, my arena is like my playground for growth. It's my playground for the things in the environment that I'm going to create to be most successful and to be most impactful. Now, I do this and I think about that arena because that's my life stage. It's what I want to do. I want to make sure that like the environment around me is a sustainable environment. I want to make sure that it's an encouraging environment so that I can learn, so I can grow, so I can develop. So I think like, we're inside of this world right now of GrowthDay, right? We're in these tiles and digital box, but think about, you step back and you look at your life and you think about the environment that you have around you. What's your arena look like? And are you stepping into that arena? And are you building that arena for yourself so you can be a lot more efficient and impactful in what you do? Like changing your environment can change so many things. I've traveled across the country. I've traveled the world. Not like as much as Glow. No way. Glow, if you've met Glow, she travels so much. But I've traveled a lot for work and a lot for conferences and a lot for like understanding how teams work. And those arenas in those setups of how teams design their space and how they create really creative environments can be game changers for how you interact and how you kind of level up your performance in your life. And oh my gosh, this is a really big thing when you realize that you have so much impact on yourself from creating a better environment and a better arena. Then I go into these other things. So like design and product excellence, seeking clarity and integrating, advancing priorities and relationships with tools, people, and tactics, skill building together, coaching, teaching, giving and receiving feedback, implementation and execution excellence, design clarity, energy, productivity, and impact, purpose, influence, encourage, and reflection. And then the last thing down at the bottom, awareness, support, intentions, values, principles, systems. Oh my gosh, I know it's a lot. But this is pretty much my intention card for my career of things that I want to really help advance for the people that I teach, the people that I coach, the people that I work with. Like I want to help them with these things because these things unlock a whole nother level of awareness and productivity and focus and dedication and excellence. It's so incredible. So if you find what your your big list is. Write it on a sheet, journal about it. What are the top things that you do or that you can focus on and come back to every day to make sure that, like, yeah, I'm getting 1% better today. I'm going to get a little bit better today. It's good. I hope this was I hope this is helpful so far. Okay, I have question. I'm going to read it really quick. I have trouble with the understanding of what systems are really about. Could you point out to a way to learn about and clarify? Okay, systems. Now I say systems a lot because the things that we do every day. Audrey, this is a great question, by the way. Thank you so much for asking it. The questions. Oh, and Teresa is coming up. Teresa, let me know if you want to come up on stage and share anything while I'm answering this question. But systems are the things that you do on a reoccurring basis, or the things that you know that you are going to do 10 steps every single day, or a product that you do is going to have like 10 things that it does every day, or like it's like the system that is just, you can define and work within the constraints of the system. And if you look at like the internet is just a colossal amount of systems that were defined and created and built to serve a need, to serve a program, to serve like an experience. So the thing to know is, like, you can step back and design your own systems for your life that have the most important things that you want to connect to every single day. And that's why, like, you know, GrowthDay is considered it's a system of tools that's organized for you to be able to have tools in one place, community in one place, and live content, life coaching in one place. And that is a system that you're within. So if you take one step back out of the system, think about what's your system that you can create for yourself. For example, a system might be like, I have a daily routine, and that's going to be a system that I follow that's going to really serve me. And I know that I might tweak it throughout my life and throughout my career. I might completely toss it and do a new routine. That could be a new system that you create. Systems are just like mechanisms that you create and that you kind of coexist with. So I hope that helps. And I also, like, if you, no problem. If you also want to learn more about systems thinking, you could research systems thinking, or you could search product design thinking. Or if you want to go even deeper and learn about this from a product and design perspective, I have a course on LinkedIn Learning. You can check that out, and I can send it to you later. Cool. Let's see. Is anybody? No, Teresa did have her hand raised, but she's not having her hand raised anymore. Look, we have 11 minutes to go. Does anybody want to come up and hang out and talk about things that they're learning, things that they're growing in, and things that they think that they maybe just want to share with the whole group here today? It's okay if you don't. If you're finding value from just the conversation, I'll keep going, because there's a lot of things to just talk about when it comes to learning and growing together. So cool. While you think about if you want to come up stage and if you want to raise your hand, if you do want to do that, it's totally cool if you don't. The other things is, like, okay, we talked about today, like, social learning. We talked about systems. We talked about planning. We talked about, different ways that I tend to do it. And of course, social learning is about sharing the ways that you do things. I have a couple other big things that I like to do when I feel like I need more clarity around a given project that I want to work on. Or if I need a really big advancement for the following week. So let's just say I have a lot of things coming up for the following week. What can I do to set myself up for success for that upcoming week? And I have like a worksheet, and I have this kind of tactic that I've tested and used and just really tried out quite a bit. And I draw things, right? So I made a little card, but it's obviously like a bigger worksheet. So what I do is I typically I call it the 3 big rocks. Now, I use this 3 big rocks where I take the 3 most important things that I'm going to do for the next following week, and a week ahead I plan those 3 things. In those big 3 giant things that I want to advance, and I say the word advance because I don't just want to work on the thing, I want to advance the thing. And if I say advance, then I'm going to actually write out the things that are advancements, versus just saying, like, I'm working on these 3 projects, and these 3 projects have 5 things that I need to do for each of them. I want to think about what are the 5 needle moving actions that I can take for each of those 3 advancements that I want to make. And then I'll write them out. And I'll look at them, and I'll have it as a little worksheet right next to my desk, and I'll just like keep using it. I use this when I'm doing kickoffs. I use this when I'm doing like initiatives, because I get 3 actions, 15. I get 3 actions, 15 sub actions, right? Because there's 5 for each element. And then it's usually what happens when I do these things is I get a lot more clarity about the next 15 moves or the next 5 moves for the thing that's important to me. And it's not like, Audrey, I'm going to bring you up. And it's not like, those 15 things are, it's just a way for me to really advance what I'm thinking. So, Audrey, do you have any questions or what's on your mind? What would you love to share? Any of your thoughts or with the group?
Yeah, it's just with your cards, it helps me to think how I can use mine, because I have a few, so it's less likely, it's not as well designed as you do, but I have cards like this. But I need to say if it's
Oh,
uh,
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
based on some courses I took, either Brandon or others, and I use them, and I have them on my desk, and I take pictures on the phone also to have them when I'm not home. But it's this one was it's Brendan who gave that. It's this fear reaction card. So you have these different steps. And what I've noticed by doing on handwriting is that I remind this better than just going through the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helped me to see where I'm going in my learning as well. Uh, and through GrowthDay, actually, I've created plans of learning. At first, I just take one course after another because I just wanted to look at them. But now I'm just organizing. So what you call the system, it was not the word I used first, but to really create and organize my learning through a path that I'm creating based on what I want to achieve, in using the app to create the plan and then move the needle forward. So
Oh, I love
that's
that.
I just wanted to share.
That's pro. That's really great, Audrey. I love that. Kudos to you. And you got a really cool background. Just saying, it looks so much fun back there. Do you love reading? Is that what a lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm reading, and I'm also writing books, and so that's just one part of the whole
Right.
books to shelf that I have home.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that's a really good reminder of like the power of pen. The power of a pen is because it's the intention of you actually writing something and feeling the ink hit the ground, or the feeling the ink hit the paper. And what that does, it does. I mean, there's research about like taking notes and how that actually adds so much value. And I tend to use in the app, like, of course, if I'm listening to a lecture or I'm listening to the Wednesday workshops that Brennan and the team do, I've attended every single session since I've joined the company. And what I'll do is I'll do like I will take notes in the app. But if I'm watching a course, sometimes I do like to write out physically in my journal, or I will go back and have my digital journal open up in the app. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, love notes. My wife also loves taking notes too. Like she's like just trained me, I think, really well into how I can become like a better note taker too. And it's really helped me because now in all my meetings, I like sketching, and especially if I'm reviewing things, I like to sketch. I like to touch things. I like to feel the pencil and the paper, and it's just a really great way for me to learn and kind of reconnect to the written word. So I'm so appreciative that you shared that. Do you have any other shot or thoughts, or should I? Okay, cool. Thank you so much. I'll move you back down as an attendee, but thank you. It's just so good, so good. Does anybody else have any things that they want to share? We have 5 minutes left, and if not, then I'll kind of go through some other big giant needle movers and habits that can also help you as you continue your social learning adventure here at GrowthDay. Audrey, you said it is your session tonight. You might want to if you could clarify that for me, I'm not really sure. But just let me know what your thoughts are. Oh, yeah. Cool. Amazing. You took some notes. Love it. So another thing was this month is all about life-changing habits. And I know that you probably, Glow just went, and it was just it was Brendan's favorite session of Glow. It was a really fantastic session. And through that, I've been thinking about what mine are. And I just thought I'd share them. I got them here. Why not? One of the big habits that I think that has really served me, and the first one is learning and development. Now, learning and development is a big, giant umbrella, but when I chose, like, it was probably about, it was when I was at Savannah College of Art and Design. I was in my junior year of school, and, I'm like burning the midnight oil. I'm like in the print shops really late at night. I'm like, just creating, building things, just going like pretty wild. I started my own business at that time. I was really just trying to like learn so much that I could learn about design and development and build. And I would take on any project. That was like my, when I was, like 21, 22 years old. And I was so fired up about this new world of creative design. I got access to all these amazing tools and resources. And that was the moment that I got hooked. I was like, I'm going to learn. I'm going to make learning a way of life for me. And I'm going to make development a way of life for me. And it's so kind of ironic that, fast forward to present day, we're building GrowthDay. GrowthDay's really core reason is trying to make self-improvement a way of life. Bye, Cheryl. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. But making self-improvement a way of life. And then I realized, like, this is something that is going to make me better every single day of my life. So I'm going to pursue it. I'm going to continue it. I'm going to do this journey. And I love that habit. The other second habit that I have is play, adventure, community, connection. Play, adventure, community, adventure. Now I realize, or play, adventure, community, connection. I realized how important it was for me, especially now that I have a 12-year-old son, to continue playing, to continue with my adventures. And I know that Brandon was talking about like spontaneous like energy too is a really big habit that he was talking about with Glow the other day. And I just think that, integrating play, adventure, community, and connection, it's just really served me so many times. The third one was meaningful pursuits. The fourth one was joy and positivity. Like, that's just what you're going to get when you get to hang out with me and work with me. I definitely acknowledge challenges, but I also like to turn those challenges into opportunities that we can work on for tomorrow. The HP6 are kind of like the high performance habits, the ones I shared with you earlier. The other big thing is taking bold moves. Like, I'm not here on this planet to slowly walk through life. I want to take bold moves in my life. So that's something that's really served me as a habit to do it. Take on big, challenging projects. I love it. Reflection and benchmarks is another big one. I love my journal. I'm going to continue journaling for the rest of my life. And benchmarking, knowing how I can be set up for success and continue that effort. And then the last couple cards that I have are about routines. So I know I talked about systems, but when you can start thinking about your routines, it's going to serve you over the long run. So, think about what your routines are. The things that you want to really double down on. Another big example is like thinking about the people and the processes that you work within. Like when you're in this, you're in this bucket. You're with all these people that you work with, and maybe they're not designers, engineers, and product people, but you got a team. Your family could be the team. What are the processes that you have that are going to support them? What are the plans? What are the craftsmanship? What's the knowledge transfer that you have? What's the collaboration look like? Communication? What's clarity look like? We're all in these things. But hey, this was a growth group. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next Friday at 2:30 p.m. at EST, and we're going to get after it. So thanks so much for joining. Later.